Twick or a quick wake up. I want to do a quick trade review on Clov today. They got some nice news. Mid-afternoon, 11 to 11:30. Very, very clean chart. Very beautiful technicals. Kind of gave me a little bit of hope. You know, I mean, we've been trying to trade this shit like rice. Been fucking... Look at this shit. What am I even looking at? I guess you get a volume strike where it's just blah, 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 very choppy, right? And then all of a sudden, Clove comes in. Saves the day, right? I mean, just a clean-ass chart. Let's start with how this fits in with my strategy. As you can see, it's still going up. Still making nice moves in the after hours. So either way, right, gets its volume spike. We're not worried about getting on the first spike. You know, that relieves a lot of stress off of our backs. Either way, spikes up and then pulls back for 1 second and then makes another spike, right? And so we don't really have much of a support buy here. This is basically just people FOMOing in. But I think this really was the first news spike because that's when you get Momo on it. That's when you got the real volume into the play. And so yeah, so it made a little stoppy poo right here. Put in a new kind of support area, right? Pops up. So now we can put in our trend line right there. Right, from the first move to this second move. We can put the trend line in, and now that'll act as our level of support. So this thing comes up to here, 816. Can't break 816. So now it comes down trends, and this is a nice downtrend because look, they're still trying to get buyers to come back in slowly. And then now you're gonna want to you see the volume compressing. You want to see the volume compressing wherever you're entering, right? And then so the volume compresses, and now it's getting really close to this trend line. So at this point, you're gonna want to try to get in before this thing moves at 7-8 or so, and your risk is this trend line or the low of this, which would be about 7-6, so very low risk entry. Because otherwise then it's just going to drop down to VWAP and then maybe try to find support there, but you don't want to be in that move waiting for that. So you really have no fucking risk off this level. Like, it's a damn good trade right there. Breaks up and out in 3 minutes. You've hit your price target of 816. What is that, 30 cents or so? It's alright, right? And then maybe you trim half there because the market's been shit. And then hold some, of course, because you don't want it you just got your stop here at the downtrend. Let your shares run, and maybe now you look at the daily for something to show resistance, and maybe the next resistance is up here at 884. Maybe we could just look at that. 884. Yeah, looks like 884 was a nice resistance through here. So maybe you could say, okay, well maybe from here on out, you know, above 8s, maybe you could go to 881. So you hold your shares up there, taps it, right? Taps it, and then you get your shares out as well as other people. And now it continues down in this downtrend. And now where is it going to find support? Well, it's funny you should ask that, right? This was an easy buy. This you had a trend line. This one you do not, right? But you do have a wedge, and wedges tend to hit the bottom twice before it breaks up, right? You want to do 2 taps at the top, 2 taps at the bottom, and especially since it's corrected at this level so well, and it's getting so close to VWAP, maybe you risk some off of 836s for the low, 829 or whatever VWAP was, right? So you're risking 10 cents to the downside, and now you're looking for 884 from 837s. That's 40 cents, 4 to 1. Pretty good risk to reward. Now you're sitting in it, and boom, pops out on good volume, right? You compressed right at your entry. Nice anomaly. That's where you want to enter. Pops up, gets some nice volume through here, and then now at this point, once it pops through here, you know that it's a reversal in trend. So you put in your trend line from the beginning move, right, to this level. And then now this acts as your support on the way up. You know, this acts as your support. So as it moves up, you got your stop below this line. It keeps going. Price target's 883. Just let it do its thing, right? Let it do its thing, and then as it moves up, you know, so does your stop. As this moves along, so does your stop. And then boom, pops up, hits your price target 882. You trim half, maybe you trim more than half, whatever you want. As you can see, it tried to get through this level, couldn't do it. That mixed with buyers, like you see this massive candle gets it pushed through. You see some retail taking some profits, but also it looks like they tried to push it through and couldn't. See these wick candles to the top, so that's going to be your new resistance. And then now it's about to hit this trend line, so if you're holding on to any trades or any shares, right, now you just move your stop up to here, and you have no risk, and you can sit back, you can take a sip of your drink, relax, and then this 9 will be your price target, because if we look on the daily, right, this is 908, right? It's significant like this for a reason. Okay, so 908 is your new price target. Okay, and this is a regular fucking trade in a normal market, and this is what we love to see. Okay, like we love to see a stock respecting its technicals, and the majority of the time they do. And so you must never change your strategy for anyone. Stick to your strategy if you know it works. Okay, and if you don't know if it works, maybe try to find someone who has the same strategy and ask them how they're doing. They have experience. So they say, yeah, I've been doing this for 3 years, and sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does, but I'm profitable. Then you're like, okay, great, I can do the same thing. So comes up, tries to find support, finally gets to that level. If you're someone who has missed this whole move, this would be your entry right here, 8/8. You're risking off of about 7.6. Few cents to the downside. Target is 907. Don't know why you would buy in here. Could just be FOMO, but get her done. And then boom, pops up, gets 1.5 mil volume to push it up to 908. Boom, you sell out, and then pretty much done. But then it keeps going. So this is a great trade. This happens more times than not. And the other thing to think about, though, is that this happened, right? This trend line happened, but things such as this happen as well. Let's look at IO, right? So that had that same move. No. So IO had the same move, right? Look at this. It does the same fucking thing. There's a nice consolidation, pops up, boom, comes back down. You draw on that trend line, right? And now you're going to be buying off this level, but it breaks down. That happens 50% of the time. There's nothing wrong with your strategy. It's just the way of the game. You're going to lose out on 50% of the time. So, if you have a tight stop of 2%, you get out, you're done, you move on, and then something like this pops up. And your strategy didn't take a hit, your confidence doesn't take a hit, you see the same setup, and you go, oh, looks like this is doing the same thing, kind of. That one was a little more drastic on the downtrend, but this set up a nice wedge. And now you're going to risk it off here. If this failed too, you move on. You'd be like, oh, whatever. Weak market, you know. But boom, breaks out. Now that 2% loss, let's actually calculate this. Alright, so it's going to go, where are we going from? 7.8, 7.81, 7.81 to 8.17. To 8.17, right? 4.6%. Okay. Not only did you just offset your 2% loss, you now have a 2-to-1 win-loss ratio. Okay? That means you're profitable. And if you were smarter and knew that this news was much bigger than what we thought it was, and there was no real selling pressure coming through here, maybe you held the majority of your shares all the way up to 8.81, right? That's a 12% gain, okay? This happens all the time. You just have to understand the news, understand the technicals, ignore your emotions, have no prior convictions from the previous trades, and follow your plan. One rule that works for me, especially in my strategy, when I see this thing pop up and it's coming down from 12:22 to 28, I get 5 minutes or so to come up with a plan and write it down. I get my stop, or I don't get the exact plan, but I say, okay, I'm gonna buy here. I get it basically 7-8. I'm gonna risk 7-8 and then get 2% below there. Risk this bottom, right? And I'm gonna make my price target 817. If it fails or flies, it doesn't matter. I know that I'm gonna win more on my winners and my losers, and that's that. It's really just coming into the market, having faith in yourself, your strategy, and your plan, and that everything will work out, and having a positive mindset that you'll find those few runners to offset the losses. The best traders don't even think about their losses. They don't care about their losses. They don't give any of their emotional state to their losses. They learn from them and move on. And a lot of the times, if you're the only thing you can learn from them is something that you did technically wrong, if you're not emotional. And the technical side of it is the easy part. So if you can control your emotions and allow each setup to be different than the last, you could really be successful as a trader.